Welcome, welcome. Woo! Welcome back. Thank you once again for tuning in to Chaos TV and Chaos Speaks Now on TNA. TNA, of course, we all know, pay-per-view this weekend, Lockdown. I did not do a predictions video. Guilty. Normally, I get on here and I say, you know what, this is what's going to happen because this makes the most sense. This time, however, I just didn't feel like doing it. I didn't. I was still kind of in the pissed off mode about Hogan, and I just, you know what, I was like, I don't care. I don't care about it. I don't care about doing it. It's not something that, you know, was going to make or break my channel. I mean, apparently. But what I'm going to do now is give you the review. Quick review. I didn't watch the pay-per-view, so all I'm doing is throwing out winners and losers, pretty much. The NBA playoffs are going on. Higher priority than TNA right now. So we start off the night with an X Division escape match. Jay Lethal, Suicide, Chris Sabin, Robbie E, Max Buck, Jeremy Buck, Amazing Red, and Brian Kendrick. Wow. That's a clusterfuck waiting to happen. I can already see it. Now, I'm sure it was probably an exciting, fast-paced match that, you know, everybody just absolutely loved. In the end, Max Buck won. I don't know what that's going to mean for him and Jeremy. Storyline. Whatever. We move on to British Invasion versus Inc. versus Eric Young and Orlando Jordan versus Scott Steiner and Crimson. Now, to me, looking at this match, I would have predicted Inc. because I think that they would have been the tag team. They need to be the next tag team to really challenge and keep challenging for the tag titles. I mean, that's where I would have went with a prediction for that match. In the end, Inc. won. So I would have been right. Move on to the Knockouts title. It was a hair versus the Knockouts title type of stipulation. Mickey puts up her hair mask and puts up the title. Mickey going into this match injured, and I love the setup that they did to this match, and I think this should have been the payoff match. This should be, you know, it ends with this match. But to have Mickey come out and beat, after they built up Madison so well as a heel champion, for Mickey to come out and beat her in like 30 seconds, or a little bit more than 30 seconds, somewhere between 30 and 45 seconds, and it kind of made me think it was even worse than the whole Jeff Hardy debacle, which everybody knows how I felt about that. But your new champion, Mickey James, you go on to Pope and Samoa Joe, and these two guys, it just seems like they've been going at it for so long. But I love it. I really do, because these are two guys that, to me, know how to build a storyline and know how to make it work and know how to keep you interested for extended periods of time. The end of this match, Joe locks on the rear naked choke, and you know that's pretty much all she wrote for the Pope, and Joe wins the match. Next, you got Matt Morgan and Hernandez, or Matt Morgan going over, which I like. They put this. That's what that would have been the smart prediction on that match with Morgan going on, and now maybe we'll have Morgan going back toward the main event spot and trying to get another title shot, which is going to set up beautifully for not next month, but the next month if they do the King of the Mountain match, because you've got Sting, and you've got Anderson, and you've got RVD, and then you've got Matt Morgan you throw in there, and a returning Jeff Hardy. It's just what I like. But I figure I figure you throw somebody like a Jeff Jarrett in that match, just to say that Jeff Jarrett was in a King of the Mountain match and didn't win. So, because he's won every one that he's ever been in. Which brings me to the next match, which was the 2 out of 3 falls match between Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett. From what I was told about peeps that watched this match, it was a very, very bloody match, which I am a fan of, when it's done right. And Jeff Jarrett comes out the winner. Both guys look like they were completely exhausted, again, from what I was told, because I didn't watch the pay-per-view. And, you know, I doubt this is the last time you're going to see these two fight. This would have been a good time for Angle to come out the winner, but it just, I don't know what they're thinking of on the booking is. This match, they'll probably feud until Slammiversary, which is, I could understand, and, you know, that's just one of those things that, you know, they got to build up for one of their bigger pay-per-views. You know, Slammiversary used to be like their biggest name, but now Bound for Glory is. So I kind of see Slammiversary as like the almost like the SummerSlam of TNA. You know, it's the second, it's the next one. You know, Bound for Glory, that's just like the big one, and then, you know, Slammiversaries, you know, it's right there next to it. Even though I think they're kind of making Lockdown out to be the second biggest pay-per-view, which I can understand, being that it's an all-cage pay-per-view, and, you know, they're going to different places. They were in Cincinnati for this one, so. The next was the World Heavyweight title, and this had kind of a funny ending to it. Hogan comes out and throws the pipe into RVD, and RVD picks it up and he thinks about it. And then he looks at it and he thinks about it, and then he throws it back at the cage, you know, where Hogan was standing, I guess. Just throws it back at him and says, "I don't want to do it." And I guess it bounces off, and Hogan is distracting RVD. Anderson gets the pipe, hits him with it, drags him over. Unbeknownst to him, Sting comes up from behind, Scorpion Death Drop. That's the match, and Hogan goes, "On my time," whatever that means. We move ahead to Lethal Lockdown. You got Fortune and Chris Daniels versus Flair and Matt Hardy and Brother Ray and Abyss. It's good to see Abyss back in the main event, in a main event of a pay-per-view, which this on this night should probably always main event. I have no problem with it. The story of this is the return of AJ Styles. He comes in and, you know, interferes in the cage match, and he you know, beats down Brother Ray, or Bully Ray, whatever you want to call him, and, you know, Fortune wins. That's probably the way, you know, if I was booking, that's the way I would have done it. Overall, on paper, because again I didn't watch the pay-per-view, I would say that this was probably a 7.5 or an 8 out of a 10. Just looking at it on paper. Now, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. You know, the knockouts match, the title match, that kind of that takes like a whole 1.5 away. So you're already at 8.5. That is as high as you could possibly go, as an 8.5, because of that match. And then the clusterfuck of the opening match probably takes another 0.5 point, just because there's so many people in there. You get a lot of spots. You don't get a really good match. And, you know, for wrestling purists like myself, that's what I would rather see that than a whole bunch of, you know, spot monkeys doing their thing. But then again, that's just me. And again, I may be wrong, but I doubt it. And on that note, Chaos has spoken. Deuces, people.